Good morning. Happy Father's Day to everyone. 8:48 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6/17 of 2012. And what do we have before us? We have before us this wonderful move that we caught down here at the bottom. We were short up here, MMTs, and now we're coming up and we're hitting the 10, and there's a 20 week. I'm going to be giving out various call and put strategies here on the call side of the market of the S&P and the put side of the market. Remember that Greece has their elections that are going on right now. So it's very important to understand the public volatility that will happen tomorrow morning on 6/18 of 2012. And that I'm going to show also the weekly chart, which was in a bear reversal, because it closed 4 weeks below the 10 week, and the 10 week was declining. That's the blue line. And it also crossed over the 20 week, and that's the public standard. And it did not. It got close down here almost to what they would trigger a weekly sell signal. Now, with central bankers working together, and you have Ben Bernanke coming out, FOMC meeting, yeah, 2-day meeting, QE3, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. And what kind of volatility plays out there. And yes, the setups on the S&P 500 index will set up. We will be going through our chart of the MMT, and we're going to look at the daily movement here. And this is our MMT platform. And right here, when we bought the bottom, we came straight back up with all the volatility. And the volatility are rumors that QE3 is coming and all of that stuff. But irrespectively and respectfully for the bull, that is, that the bull is slightly only in positive territory on the year as far as the actual analysis here. And what I'm going to tell the MMTs is that we have clearly set a roadmap using our MMT pricing. And what we're going to do is we're going to set all kinds of price alerts on the upside in the MMT application. And what we're going to do is that we're positive 1/8 delta in the MMT system, meaning that the bull has only got 0.70% of the raw movement of the whole calendar year. That's all he's worth right now. But when he was down here at negative 7/8, down around in our system, that was 1268.19, and they were down, marked down 4.9% in our system. Since then, we have walked it to positive 0.70 the bull has during this bottom. And summer rallies start in the summer. However, we bought the bottom ahead of time because we knew that the headlines could create a nice movement back up to these resistance levels that we're going to be talking about here in the S&P, and any kind of gap up into resistance and or in our platform gap down here. And here's a half bar at support, 1337. Write that down. That's a half bar for Monday right here. That's this big half bar. Let's go ahead and deal with the bottom over here on the S&P, and the low of that was 1307. So you're definitely going to want alarms set down right above that 1300 handle. Okay, and this bar, which is going to be the most important one right away, it's a daily half bar at the first support level, is going to be right around 1323.20 now. Okay, and actually 1333.47 will be where that bull and bear would be equal, meaning that right now you have slightly, just a little bit of the bull back in the calendar 2012 mid-year in June. Right now, that's what their weighting is. And that means that the headline, the rescue packages, the stimuluses, and everything that causes those headline events in the cash futures market and pre-market, whether it's the gap up scenario, and the S&P is going to have some problems because it's going to have to clear this half bar right here, and that's 1353.43. then ultimately right up here, that's going to be 1379. That's this big red bar here. So as we travel up, these diamond areas are going to be major resistance levels. And I'm going to blow this part of the chart up. And I'm talking this area right here at that 1370 handle. This is going to be the bottom of these two areas of where we actually had that longer breakdown right here. We were short that whole move there. However, coming back up to resistance levels, we're going to be looking for that MMT on the S&P 500. So if we gap to that resistance, that is the key. And we will set the pricing on both call and put side. Right now, and so let me go back over here and let me pull this back up in your platform. And you need to go into your platform and you need to get your delta lines, MMTs, that's going to be in the back end here. And you need to set your alarms like I told you. And that 1371 is 2 full deltas. But he's going to have to get past that 1 full delta on a gap open. That's going to be 1356 MMT. And 1356 happens to be right up here, MMT. Comes right into this diamond cluster of resistance. Now, where did the S&P close? Well, we all know that the last print right here is 1342.84. That's where it is right now. And that any gap down areas would be a support level because on the daily they have turned that 10-day simple moving average. But remember one thing, MMT, this bottom that we bought long on the contracts and bought calls as we did, you can see once again that this is the first good yearly calendar movement where that reversal came in, and it was verified with when this price level got up above this right here, this bar, and this half bar right here at 1293. When that bar got above it, half bar, daily half bar at 1293, that's when the trend started. And then it consolidated right up here. Okay, and it has. And each one of these lines for Monday are 8.75 on the S&P daily. 8.75 is each line of support and upper resistance levels for Monday, 6/18 of 2012. The gap sequences will be in those major areas of 1 delta up. That's going to be right here. Right here. This 3-day consolidation kind of came down, popped it up, and then sold down. We got that move. But remember, the same news that drove it down is also the same news on the other side that tries to run them back up for the bull. But the bull right now has got support levels down around the area that I mentioned in our yearly formula, and that's going to be 13.0. Let's see. So if we get to let's say that we're negative 1/8 delta, so that one support's going to be 1324. The next area of support, 1/4, 0.25 down, is going to be 314.82. That's that lower end. And the negative 3/8, if it goes the other way and goes back into bear negative territory, that lower support level at 3/8 in our system is 1305.49. 1305.49. And that's right back down in here where the whole thing started. So that's going to be the lower support levels. And here you can see the daily consolidation, how clean it is and how accurate we are. That's 1, 2, 3 half delta movements. And yeah, $8.75 times 3. And that was that down move. And you held this big ass bull bar up here when we were buying the low, and that turn right here confirmed that it was on. And then the daily consolidation, and now the world is waiting on what happens in Greece and what happens in other parts of the world. But I will tell my MMTs up front, with the volatility reversal trend off of the bottom, because that's what we're trading now, is that when we get up here and we challenge this area, that 1 delta area right here, that's going to be one first wall of resistances, and then you'll work your way up to the 1370 handle, 1365. There's like an area. So this whole area right here, if we break above here, we're going to test these diamonds here, MMTs. And that was that consolidation before it had its bigger leg all the way down right at the break where we pounded these shorts. And now we're pounding the long side of the market going up. And we're going to be selling because we're going to hit resistance. And irrespectively of all the volatility with all the headline news and QE3, you're going to have a whopping volatility week that's starting in the morning. And now I'm going to conclude the S&P 500 chart with my MMTs. And in the next round, we're going to go through each one of the call side and the put side on the indexes so that we can capture those price volatility movements